are my top 10 players 25 and under in the NBA? It's a hard list. Super hard list. There's going to be people who are mad about this because there are players that are going to be left off. The first player that will be left off that I just have to get it, because don't wait for him. He's not coming. He's not going to be on the list. I know you're going to be like, oh, Trysta, she's setting us up for anticipation because she's always slandering him. And you know what? She's always saying he's not in shape. And she's always saying he eats too many beignets. Maybe he'll be 10 in the top 10. No. Zion's not on this list, folks. He's not coming. He's not going to be there because Zion is fat. Zion is injured all the time. Did you see him in his he had the what's it called? The anime vest on. He looked like he was about to bust out of the buttons. He is not. Back to the list. First and foremost, we're going to go Trae Young. He's 23. I mean, he's just regular. Anybody who can nutmeg on the regular and transition, just electric. Leader, gritty, shutting down Madison Square Garden, an elite shooter, phenomenal passer, chip on the shoulder. I mean, you never know when he's either going to throw a lob or a floater. I mean, I love Trae Young, especially because he's tiny. He is, if you saw him walking down the street, you wouldn't know that he was a basketball player. Incredible. For someone to be able to do all of those things against guys like Evan Mobley, Lauri Markkanen, 7-footers on a regular basis, just cooking, weight shift, incredible. Next up is Luka. I mean, Luka is top 10 at any age, no matter if it was 30 or under, or 40 or under, or like, Luka's an all-time best player. His passing, I've never seen a person pass quite like Luka. And, Dallas is not a good team. He can take this team to incredible heights. He's great. I mean, you saw what he did with Slovenia. That team should not have gone as far as they did. Incredible at getting to the rim. How big? He's also a big boy. He is shockingly fast for how big he is. Elusive. And it'd be like if someone who was 6'8" patterned their game after Harden and actually executed. That's Luka. Ant Edwards, like I said, just nobody plays like Ant. Like, there's nobody who likes contact as a basketball player more than Ant Edwards. He's explosive. He can dunk over anyone. Underrated shooter. Must-see TV. Next up, LaMelo. I think we're in a renaissance for passing, but LaMelo is like a quarterback out there. He can not only thread the needle, but he can lob the entire length of the floor and drop it in the breadbasket for a layup. I mean, there's just so many highlights just like that. Shooting underrated, especially since that was the knock on him. He's got bounce. Like, he is so tall for a point guard. Can do so many things on the court. His vision is incredible. I think he's going to be probably one of the faces of the league. Speaking of faces of the league, next player up, Ja Morant. Ja is AI in 2020. Ja can do everything. Like, he dunks on people, and he is tiny. He is, like, not only is he somewhat short, he's pretty thin, too. He's got a chip on his shoulder, unapologetically himself. Swag, insane bounce, can lead a team on his back. He can pass, he can shoot. Once he can shoot free throws in the clutch, once he can shoot deep consistently, he might actually be a legitimate contender for an MVP. Maybe the most underrated player in the league is probably Ja. He even told Chris Haynes the other day, it took me averaging 35 a night in order for me to get any All-Star consideration. SGA also very underrated. The guy plays in the worst market in the NBA, and yet still people are tuning in for him. Infectious. He's having fun playing for Oklahoma City Thunder. Like, imagine having fun there. He's 6'6", but he plays like he's 6'8", 6'9". He can knock down threes. He can take the ball to the rim. He's really nice around the rim, too. He can pass. He's just mellow. He got, I would say, really took a step when he got mentored by Chris Paul. And he's got rare confidence for a guy that's that young. Next up on the list, Donovan Mitchell. Sheesh. He is, can we stave Donovan Mitchell from Utah? Can we just take him out of there? Because he has the ability to do things that would look good in Madison Square Garden. You know, he has the ability to make plays defensively. He's an underrated passer and a playmaker. He's got nasty handles, hits big-time shots. He can create space over those bigger defenders. He's tenacious. He can't see out there. He said he needs glasses, and he's doing all of this. So the only real reason that he's not higher on everybody's list is you just forget about him because he's in Utah. Devin Booker sort of shouldn't make the list because he's just turned 25. But, he's maybe the best two guard in the league. You saw what he did in the finals. Two-way, he can put up huge numbers on massively tense moments, take teams, put them on his back. People legitimately shit on him for reasons that were not in his control because Phoenix was terrible. He took a leap forward with CP3. I think Devin Booker is going to take another step into the public consciousness. People are going to talk about him even more. And I think maybe because he's a pretty boy, maybe because he likes to shoot jumpers and not particularly efficient from three, people sort of slander him. But his footwork is insane. Speaking of footwork, Tatum is the next player on the list. He's got like an unlimited bag. He is maybe one of the smoothest players in the league. Next to KD, he's probably the best scorer in the NBA. He's only 23. He's 6'8". First step, deceptively quick. He's so fun. When he's cooking, I don't even know what his ceiling is. Somebody asked me last year, who would you rather take, Luka or Tatum? And I said Tatum just because of his position. But, man, that's a tough call. First team All-NBA for years and years, I'd say, is his ceiling. Finally, DeAndre Ayton, that last spot was tough. Because was it Bam? Was it Fox? Was it Collins? I put Jaylen on there, but he's just such a roller coaster, so I had to take him off. But Ayton's the player that you can put in any roster, and they're just better. They just automatically better. He's gritty. He could be Embiid, but he's just not allowed to be Embiid. But his skill set could be that. He likes to play on the perimeter. He can dribble. He can play face up. He can shoot. I've watched DeAndre Ayton since he was a little kid, and he can actually shoot the three. They just don't let him. He's so fun. Honorable mentions, Bam Adebayo, DeAndre was on the list. Bam Adebayo, De'Aaron Fox, Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray would be on that list if he was healthy. John Collins, Jaylen Brown, Miles Bridges, Mikal Bridges, and honorable mention Zion. Final question. If you could stop watching one NBA team forever, what would it be and why? Oh, Magic fan, you know. You know it's you. You know it's you. Who else would it be? Anytime that Julius Randle says, I could not sleep because I lost to this not a wink of sleep, because I lost to this garbage team, that's how bad that team is. Any team that a star says, well, if I was traded there, I would just retire, that's a team you shouldn't be watching. That's a team that should be relegated. That's no shade to Wendell Carter. That's no shade to Cole Anthony. Shout out to his father, who was a Portland Trailblazer. That's no shade to Jalen Suggs, who I love. I like a lot of these players. The only player I don't like is Jonathan Isaac because he is a menace and he's an anti-vaxxer, but that's a whole other thing. But there's just something about this franchise as a whole that's just a no. It's just if there's one team that I should not ever watch, that's what it'd be. That's all the time that we have on the Heat Check podcast. We'll be back Monday evening, I said, covering all the news from around the weekend. Don't forget to give us a follow at Trysta Krick and at This Heat Check on TikTok. Please download, please subscribe, please give us a rating on Spotify and Apple.